Good afternoon YouTube, and welcome along to another episode of Silver Fox Travels. Just giving the boots a bit of a clean because they got quite dirty in my last ride out. I thought I'd have a little chat with you today about cruiser motorcycles, particularly as the new Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650 has come out, and that is pretty much a cruiser style bike. But what makes a cruiser? Well, I've had a look online, and good old Google has given me the following bits of information. Here we go. The origin of the word cruiser is a Dutch word, cruisen, which then turned into cruiser, which became English cruise or cruiser, and that was in the late 17th century, so that's going back a fair bit. Now, it also states that a cruiser, originally, was a relatively fast warship, larger than a destroyer and less heavily armed than a battleship. Okay. Another definition is that a cruiser is a boat with an engine and a cabin in which people sail for pleasure. Okay, so the final definition that they have there with regards to a cruiser motorcycle is that a cruiser motorcycle is a motorcycle in the style of an American machine from the 1930s to the early 1960s, including those made by Harley-Davidson, Indian, Excelsior and Henderson. Okay, so that's the definitions, but what makes a bike a cruiser? Well, as you can see from the photographs, my particular bike is styled along those lines. She has a nice big windscreen to keep the wind off. She has saddlebags to keep my luggage in. There's a rear rack where I can attach additional luggage should I need to. It has feet forward controls, a nice high set of handlebars. I wouldn't say they were proper ape hangers or anything like that, but they are quite raised and really very comfortable. And it has an upright seated position. And for me, that makes a cruiser. My idea of a cruiser is something that I can sit on all day, sit back, enjoy, and just take in the sights as I go along. So let's get on the bike and get out there and see what it's like to ride. Okay, so what makes a cruiser a cruiser? Well, as you can see, the styling of this bike is very much along the lines of the Harley-Davidson, you might say. It's got the slightly stretched out front forks. It's got the very low seat. I think in this particular case it's a 740mm seat, and it has the foot forward controls. The handlebars are on these quite tall risers, but they're not the ridiculously tall. They're just at the right sort of height for me, as I mentioned earlier. And of course I've got the saddlebags here, which are perfect for carrying all my luggage whenever I go away on a trip. And I've also got the rear rack, and I can strap a bag to the back seat if I need to. What I've also got is this quite tall windscreen here, which I'll just turn the front end round a little bit so you can see it a bit better. Now this gives me a lot of wind protection. It keeps the wind and the elements off. Only in really heavy rain do I get a soaking, and then really only on my trouser legs. My helmet usually stays relatively dry. I have also a sat-nav system set up on here, a TomTom sat-nav that I use, so that when I go on a longer tour I can set up the directions and I don't have to worry about getting lost, which is something I do quite regularly. So let's get some photographs on here now of the seating position and the front pegs. Now, as you can see, my feet are relatively comfortable on this bike. I can put my feet down on the ground whenever I come to a stop, and there's no stretching to get there. Okay, so what does a cruiser mean to me? Well, a cruiser, as far as I'm concerned, has to be something that can get me from A to B, regardless of how far that might be, in comfort, economically, and be able to carry whatever luggage I want to take with me, and be all day comfortable at a nice cruising speed of about 60 or 70 miles an hour. This bike is definitely a motorway muncher, and it's also a country lane cruiser. That is what a cruiser is to me. So there you have it. That's my opinion on a cruiser. I hope you've enjoyed this bit of video. If you have, please share, like and subscribe, as everybody usually asks. And I'll finish off in the usual way by saying, look after yourselves, look after the people around you, and until next time, bye for now.